Right now we're joined by our colleague Jim DeFede.
He's fired up.
Whoa, he is.
Yeah,
A lot of people are fired up.
Well, you have a feeling like that's the sort of stuff that is trying to get him to be the next Attorney General in the Trump administration. I think there's a little bit of that. Lindsey is all in for Donald Trump and waiting for Jeff Sessions to be pushed out.
What's the Trump effect, you think, on Rick Scott and also on the governor's race?
Well, look, I do think, you know, CBS News did a poll recently that sort of said that traditionally about 50% of midterm elections have to do with the president. This one, they say, is about 70%. Now, that's good and bad. That's 70%, meaning that there are people who are turning out to support Donald Trump because they want to have his back, and there are people who are being driven to the polls because they want to see a check and a balance against Donald Trump. And so I do think a lot of that is driving this. We are seeing huge numbers, absolutely, in this race, and I think that a lot of that is generated by a desire among Democrats to flip the House and act as a check against Donald Trump.
And it's not just Trump surrogates and supporters who are pushing here in Florida. Former President Obama was here today in South Florida. What effect is that having?
It's all about that base. You know, that's what it comes down to. Donald Trump goes out there, and what he's doing is he's stirring up the base among Republicans, and Democrats are using Obama to go in and whip up their supporters. Look, there isn't a lot left for the folks in the middle in this election. This is about not just energizing your bases, but also getting people who have not traditionally voted in midterms elections to turn out. That's what Andrew Gillum did in winning the primary. That's what Donald Trump did in 2016 to win the presidency. Getting people who don't traditionally vote to turn out. That's what these campaigns are about now.
What should we read into this tremendous turnout in early voting in South Florida?
Well, you look at the numbers in South Florida, they really are quite staggering. I mean, when you think about it, almost 750,000 votes cast in South Florida between early and absentee. And if you think about almost 4 million in the state of Florida, that's almost like 1 out of every 5 vote cast just coming from the 2 South Florida counties, Dade and Broward. You know, look, Democrats traditionally have always tried to run up the score in Dade and Broward and then play defense in most of the rest of the state. Andrew Gillum in his campaign is running a little bit different. One of the things that they're doing is you're seeing them try to go into red counties, not so much because they think they can win those counties, but to not necessarily lose as badly in those counties. You know, Democrats have made the mistake a lot in recent years where all they do is just try to play to their hardcore counties, and they have to really run across the state.
But I have to ask you about the shooting we're learning about in Tallahassee. It's taking Gillum off the campaign trail, and he's been so aggressively campaigning all over the state. What do you make of that? It also plays into Ron DeSantis' narrative that Tallahassee is the most crime-ridden state under Gillum's leadership.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that, you know, one of the things that we'll learn up more. We don't know exactly how bad the shooting is. 4 people shot, the gunman shot and killed himself. We don't know how many of the others were killed or just wounded. Look, I think that in the same way that you saw Governor Scott go to the Panhandle, as you saw Andrew Gillum go to the Panhandle during Hurricane Michael, in this case, when there's a crisis and you're the mayor, you want to be seen as being a leader actually dealing with the situation there. But you're right, it does play into DeSantis' hand, talking about the high crime rate, the high and the murder rate. I will say, though, that the claims by Ron DeSantis that the highest crime rate in the state is in Tallahassee has been fact-checked by a number of groups, independent groups, that found it's not quite as he makes it out to be.
Okay, Jim, thanks a lot.